Okay, so I see that people who are still joining. So if you can hear my sound or if you can communicate in the chat, I'm still just waiting for the other users to join. But I'm just doing sound check in the moment. So if you can hear me, please type yes in the chat. All right. So in the meantime, while the other users are still joining, I think some of them will join us a bit later, but maybe we can start in the meantime. If you can hear my voice clearly, if you can see the screen clearly, can you type yes in the chat? And then we can start. All right. Let's start in the meantime. So today we're going to focus on the sensitivity labels. So what are these? What are sensitivity labels? Now think about the files that are being stored in an office, maybe in a law firm. A lot of those, there are files which are sensitive, and there are some files which have information that maybe is not that sensitive. Maybe it could be public information. Now, all of those files, they need to be um, labeled. So they must have a tag. So anyone who walks into that office must be able to know that which files are sensitive, which files are confidential, which files are just public information, which files do not have maybe confidential information. So basically, if they were to hire someone new in that law firm, maybe an admin or a clerk, that person must be able to identify those files which are sensitive and files which are confidential based on the labels which are assigned to those files. So we're going to focus on that today. We're going to focus on sensitivity labels. All right. So I'm going to share my screen, my Microsoft. Let me know if you can see it. You can see the screen. Let me go and share the screen. So in a data security environment or industry, we use different platforms for protecting data. But for this exercise, I'm using Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So this is what I normally use to demonstrate to the students what or how we protect data. And we use this application here, Microsoft Purview. I'm going to click on it. So this is Microsoft Purview. So this is what we use for the data security, for protecting data. So remember, in cybersecurity, there's different industries or there's different fields within cybersecurity. There's network security, application security, data security, cloud security. So I specialize in data security, and in data security, we use platforms like these, Microsoft Purview. And today, we are focusing on labels, information labels here. As you can see on my screen, sensitivity labels, that's what I'm going to focus on for today or tonight's lesson. If you can hear me clearly and you can see my screen clearly, can you please type yes in the chat so that I can know that you guys are able to see and hear clearly? In the meantime, I'm going to continue. So like I said, we're gonna focus on these sensitivity labels. They are used or we use them in data security for different things. So for encrypting data, now what is encryption? You've if you've never heard of encryption, if for those of you who've done A plus, N plus, you know what encryption is. So encryption basically is just a way of hiding your data so that it does not get unauthorized people do not get access to the data. And content marking, basically, this one is a way of so you're making your files or emails or any data, you're giving it a name. If maybe it's a confidential file, you'll be giving it a marking that is a confidential file. If it's a sensitive file, then you'll be giving it that marking. Then I'll show you on a file which I can open so that you understand exactly what I'm about. So if you look at my file, you see I've opened a Microsoft Word file. You'll see a marking here, content marking that shows sensitive. So that's exactly what I'm referring to. So that's what sensitivity labels can do for you. They can encrypt your files and they can also add content marking so that it's easier for you to know that this file is a sensitive file, this file is a confidential file. So sensitivity labels can be used for different things. I'm going to scroll down, and they can also be used for auto labeling. Now, let me open a Microsoft Word so that I can be able to demonstrate exactly what do I mean by auto labeling. Why do we need to assign labels to files? Open a a blank Microsoft Word document. Let me share my screen so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. If you look at my screen right now, it shows a document. This is just a blank document. So if I go to my screen, you can see the icon that shows here sensitivity. This is where you click to assign a sensitivity label. Now, what's the importance of assigning these labels? The importance of doing that is if you had sensitive data on this file, you would assign one of these labels. Maybe you'd give it a confidential. If it's a confidential file, you'll give it a confidential file. And what that will do is that it will protect this document and it will give you an option to assign access to only the that you want to have access to the file. So even if, let's say, I say confidential and then I click here, trusted people, close. Let me go back here, open an Outlook. So I'm on Outlook right now. I'm going to click new email and I'm going to click on this sensitivity label and I'm going to say confidential and then I'll say um, let's choose this one, trusted people. So if I enter, um, say, an email address of this person here, and I send it, this email will only be visible to or will only be accessible to this person and no one else. So even if the user here, maybe they try and forward it to another person, whoever they forward it to will not be able to access that. In fact, it won't even allow them to forward this email. So that's it. That's the importance of sensitivity labels. They ensure that data is only accessible to only the right people or only the people you give access to. All right. So let's go back here. And in terms of this auto labeling, well, as you've seen here in Outlook, I was doing this manually. I was coming here, I was clicking here, and then I was clicking here. So I was doing the whole process manually. But sensitive labels can do auto labeling. And how do they do that? So they would detect your files. Basically, auto labeling will detect the information on the file or email, and it will assign a label automatically. Let me give you guys a demonstration. Uh, Let me get this information here. I'm gonna open a Microsoft Word document, a blank one, and then I'll paste sensitive data here. Pasted some confidential information here. So what's going to happen is that the auto labeling will sense or it will detect all this information that's on this file, and it will identify that it's confidential information, and then it will automatically assign a label to it. So let's give it a moment, and you'll see it will change. All right, while it's doing that, I'm gonna go back to this screen, then we'll come back and check the screen later. Okay, let's go and check out if auto labeling has worked. Okay, let me screen. So here's that. Here's what I wanted to show you regarding auto labeling. You can see that document. What happened to that document? Microsoft Microsoft Purview has automatically applied the sensitivity label. As you can see here, it shows sensitive. So it was able to detect all this information that it's a sensitive document, and then it automatically applied. So I don't have to come here and no, it's already done by the system. So that's what sensitivity labels do for you. They are able to identify confidential or sensitive information in files, and then it will apply all the required labels. Okay, let's go down. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, before we go to the next page, let's have a look at um, maybe one question so that we can test if you guys were able to understand what exactly I was talking about. So let's look at this question one. What are the two primary capabilities provided by sensitivity labels? I just spoke about this. What can labels do for you when you assign on when they are assigned on? Okay, young fan, are you saying C? You are correct. Yes, encryption and content marking. Okay, this one I'll come back to it. I have to show you this first. We can answer that question. Now let's have a look at this one. So encryption on sensitivity labels, it can give you control basically over you you can define who must have access to specific files or emails based on those labels that you apply. And another thing that you can do is that you can define like the access. When must it expire? For example, let's say I work in a legal department. Maybe there's someone who's in the HR, or maybe they're working in the, yeah, mailroom or HR, but we need one of those person or people to come and assist us in the legal department. So we can give them access to files or sensitive files for a limited time. So we can assign an expiration date. Then I'll show you exactly on Microsoft platform or preview how do we do that. So if maybe we need them to, or we need them maybe for 30 days, they must come and assist our department. We can grant them access on specific documents for a limited time, let's say 30 days. Let's go to Microsoft Purview. Let me show you exactly how do we create a label. We first open this platform, then we come here, information protection, then we click here, sensitivity labels. All right. These ones here, they come with this platform. So when you buy this Microsoft Purview, it will automatically have some of these. Then you can also create your own. I created these ones. Let me, and then you can see exactly what I'm talking. So if you look at my screen, you'll see sensitivity labels, and then you can see personal, public, general, confidential, highly confidential. All of these are labels which came with this Microsoft platform. And then these ones, sensitive and top secret, I created them without testing. So how do you create label? You click in create label, you give it, let's say maybe I want to create a label for internal files. Let's say in my company, there are specific files or emails or that is internal, that's not supposed to go out. Then I'll give the label a name called internal. Okay, I'll write here internal. Then I leave it as it is here. There, you must give it a description. I'll just say internal label. Or I'll say here label for internal files. Then I leave it as it is here. Then I just say next. Then here you just define the scope for this level. Um, it must apply where on files and it must apply on Teams meetings and chats. So this is the way you define the scope. So you can choose whether you want the labels to only apply on emails or to only apply on files. So there's different options. Then you say next. Here, choose protection settings for the types of items you selected. So here you can choose whether you want to control who can access the view label or view labeled item. So I'll say yes because I want to choose who must have access to the files or emails that I assign labels to. And I also want to add content marking. So I'll choose yes. I want my documents to be able to have that sensitive or confidential marking. So then this one you can leave it and say next. Then here access control. So this is when the encryption happens. And then here you must choose uh, assign permission. Here you must choose whether how users must have access to the files. So I'll say I'll add all the users. in this organization? I'll say yes. So, for example, if I was creating a label for the finance department, or yeah, I was gonna come here and say assign, and then I was gonna choose only the finance department here. But right now, I'm just doing testing. We had everyone. Okay, next. Okay, this one I'll leave it as is. I'll say next. Okay, here, auto labeling for files and emails. So here you must choose whether you want auto labeling or you want users to manually choose a label. For now, I want auto labeling. I want Microsoft to like detect the content, all the information on the files and emails, and then it must assign the label itself, not the user doing it manually. So I'm gonna make this on, and it shows you detect content. You see? You can even choose what kind of content must be detected. You can uh, choose here. Maybe I'll say sensitive type, or I'll use trainable classifier. I'll use this one for now. Then I can scroll down. Okay, let me go with finance. So any document that has some financial data which can be sensitive, it will automatically assign to the label. I'll edit there. Then it shows here. Automatically apply the label. Then I'll say next. Then it gives you options. But leave it as it is and then just say next. Then you just click here, create label. Then it will create the label. Okay, let's go back. Um, okay, let's scroll down. Okay, let's go to the next page. In the meantime, okay, have a look at this question. Okay, another thing about these labels, they do work on other platforms besides Microsoft. So it doesn't really apply to, but you will need um, other features in the Microsoft to be able to assign these labels on platforms which are not Microsoft. You'll need this one here, Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So you'll need this. So right now on my Microsoft platform, okay, I don't have it for now, so I can't really show you. But yes, if let's say I wanted to apply sensitivity labels on PDF files, Adobe PDF files, Dropbox um, files from other applications which are not Microsoft, I would have to buy this license here. Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. Okay, let's go to this question, number 2. So they're asking here, a user applies a sensitivity label to a document on their Windows desktop and then opens it on a MacBook. Will the protection persist? So they're asking, does the labels only work on Windows desktop, or if I apply this label file on a Windows PC, will that label still be protecting that file if I open that file on a different PC computer, maybe a MacBook? That's what they're asking you. What do you think would be the answer? So I just spoke about something that you had to buy. So if you're not sure, this one might be a bit tricky. The answer will be yes, no? So it does work. Yes, sensitivity levels are cross-platform protection, meaning they do work on other platforms which are not Microsoft, as long as you buy that other license that I was talking about. So let's look at question number 3. How can sensitivity labels extend beyond or extend protection to content stored in a non-Microsoft app like Box? So I showed you that's exactly what you need to do for this function. How do you ensure that labels extend to or they work on non-Microsoft apps like Box? What do you need to get? Which is something I spoke about like 3 minutes or 4 minutes ago. So you need to get something that acts, a Microsoft service that acts as a bridge. It will allow you to add sensitivity labels to non-Microsoft applications. Okay, let me go back here. You need to get this Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Once you have this, then your labels will work on any app, even if it's not Microsoft. So let's go back. Sarol, you're saying B. Yes, you're correct. All right, let's look at number 4. True or false, sensitivity labels are only used for visually marking content and do not provide any form of encryption. Is this true or is this false? Sensitivity labels, they only add visual markings. They don't add encryption. Would this be true or would this be false? I think to answer this question, you need to know what this means basically. Encryption. What is encryption? Encryption is protection. So basically, do sensitivity labels protect data or they don't? They just add visual markings. Oh, you're saying false. Yes, that's false. Okay, let's look at number 5. So a company wants to ensure that any document with financial data is marked as confidential and can only be opened by the finance team. Which technology is best suited for this? So which option will be the right one here? It's the topic of today. You should know this answer. Young Fana, yes, you're right. Sensitivity levels here. This tab here, you can see it shows here visual. This is a visual marking, but also there's encryption on this file. Okay, let's go back. Here, let's talk a bit about auto labeling. So auto labeling works in two ways. There's the client side labeling, there's the server side. What's the difference? Client side, this one basically where you have to open the file for auto labeling to take place. But on the server side labeling, This one, you don't have to open the file for the file to get auto labeling, meaning that files that are stored in OneDrive, in SharePoint, in Exchange, in the email server, they'll be automatically labeled even if you do not open those files. So that's the difference. This one, the auto labeling will only take place when you open the file. So that's the difference between these two: client side labeling and server side labeling. So I did give you guys a demo with this file, how auto labeling works. Let me try with another file, then I can show you how auto labeling will work. I'm gonna try and get financial data, and then maybe try and open a file, see if it will require me to add a label. Okay, let me copy this sensitive data. Okay, I'm gonna open a Word online, share my screen. I'm gonna open a blank Microsoft Word. I'm gonna try and add some financial data here. Let's see what kind of label will be applied here. This is this is not real data. This is just fake data with some fake credit card numbers and salary here, CVV number, bank account number. Okay, so you see what happened on my screen. It shows here your organization recommends that you change the sensitivity to confidential. See, so it was able to detect all this information on this file that, oh, this information here is very sensitive, it's confidential. So it gives you a message here. So it did not add the label automatically. It just recommended that I change or I add a label. And then I can choose to do that. I can click here, change now. Then it will do that. So let me go back here. So that's the difference between the client side labeling and the server side labeling. Client side, you have to open the file and it's going to detect the information on the file. Then it will give you either a recommendation or it will assign label automatically. But with this one, server side labeling, you don't have to open the file. It will just work even when the file on SharePoint, OneDrive, it will just automatically get a label. So that's the difference. Now let's go down. Okay, let's go down. I want to show you. I want to go to the next page. In the meantime, let's have a look at the question. And then while you're here, please click on the thumbs up so that YouTube can share this with other people who are interested in learning security. So let's have a look at question number 6. In the meantime, what is the role of Microsoft Defender for cloud apps in relation to sensitivity? So I already spoke about this. You should know exactly what this does or what it does. So what is the role of this? Based on these options, which one would you say is the option, the right one? Let's see your answer in the chat. It's fine. You can take a guess. It doesn't matter. We're all learning. So Microsoft Defender for cloud apps will assist you to do what? Okay, you guys are saying A. A is correct. Yes, it extends the protection of labels to third-party files. Yeah. All right. True or false? Sensitivity label protection can be applied to a file stored in Dropbox. So you guys know what Dropbox is, right? It's a file sharing platform, right? Okay, you're saying true. That's true, no? As long as you get Microsoft Defender for cloud apps, then yes, it's possible. Yes. Okay, let's go to number 9. A user wants to apply a public label to a document but does not need to restrict who can open it. Can sensitivity label be used for this? So basically, the user wants to assign a public label to a document, and they want this document to be accessible to anyone. It must not have restriction. Can a sensitivity label be used for this? That's what they're asking. So which one do you think it is here? Is it A, is it B, or is it C, or is it D? Young fan, you're correct, no? It is possible to just apply only a label without having any restrictions on the file. So yes, that is good. Don't forget to click the thumbs up or the like button, guys. YouTube must spread the word to those people who are interested in learning this data security. All right, let's have a look at number 10. Besides Box and Dropbox, which other Microsoft app was mentioned where sensitivity labels can be applied via Microsoft Defender for cloud apps? Okay, this one I'm going to skip because Microsoft Defender for cloud apps can work with any app, with Microsoft, with non-Microsoft, so all of these. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. What is the primary function of auto labeling with sensitivity labels? So, what is the primary function of using auto labeling? Think about automating. Why do people want to automate? What's the purpose of automating? Think about that. What do you think is the answer? A, B, C, or D? Okay, young fan, are you saying A? Yes. Yes, Sarah, A. Correct. The other guys, you must also try and answer because I only see two people, young fan and Sarah, that answered. It's fine if you get it right or wrong. It doesn't matter. We're all learning. So let's have a look at number 12. Which of the following describes the correct order of roles in the sensitivity label workflow? Okay, let me go back before you answer that one. I must go back. Um, uh, I think I must go back. Oh, let me go back to Microsoft platform, the Microsoft platform. And I can exactly what they are asking there. So that question basically is it's asking the steps of the label. So remember, I'm the administrator. What is my relationship with the sensitivity label? I'm the person who creates it or who creates the label, manages them. I'm the um, first point or first contact when it comes to sensitivity labels. As the administrator, I'm the one who creates them. They don't exist without them. I manage them. And the users, what do they do with the labels? The users can only apply labels. They can't create them. They just choose um, whatever label that they want to use. That's the only thing that they have. Uh, that's the only relationship that they have with the sensitivity labels. And then the last part is the systems like Outlook and other applications, they enforce um, whatever or the rules that have been set on those labels. So, for instance, um, if I'm trying to send an email, and then I'll say maybe I'll send it to my Gmail here. Maybe I'm sending a confidential email. Okay, I'll choose this one. Okay, the only reason why I'm getting this message is because I'm changing a label to a different label. So it's gonna request a justification to say why do you want to change a label maybe from highly confidential to confidential. Then I'll just provide here a reason. Okay, for now I'll just choose here. Label was incorrect and then I'll change. Okay, say here confidential. Then I'll send it to my Gmail here. Send, send. So, what's the relationship with labels for administrators? Administrators are the creators of labels and they manage them. What's the relationship with the users? The users, they just apply the label. They do it manually, but it's also possible to automate that process. And what's the relationships with all these other applications with the sensitivity label? They just enforce these applications will enforce whatever rules have been set on those links. So let's go to let's open my Gmail account. Let's see what will happen or what kind of email I will receive if it has been assigned that confidential label. So you see that email here. I'll click on it, then it will come, or I will receive it just like this. Then I'll click here, read message. So you can see this screen here. This shows you that label has been enforced here. It shows you here that message protected by Microsoft Purview encryption. See, that's the relationship between applications and sensitivity labels. The applications will just enforce whatever rules have been set by the label. Okay, if I click read message, and this is what I get, I just click sign in with one time password, then it will come to this screen. Then I'll have to go back to get a code. It will generate a code. Then I'll open here, then I can get the code. Come back here, then I'll enter the one-time passcode, then I'll click on continue, and then I can see the confidential email. And it even shows you the markings. You can see the visual markings here. And it tells you the recipients can't remove encryption. It's encrypted. All right. Now let's go back. So let's look at question 12. Which of the following describes the correct order of roles in the sensitivity label workflow? So based on what we just spoke about just now, what would be the answer here? Would it be A? Would it be B? Would it be C? Or would it be D? Let's see who's gonna get it right. Type your answer in the chat if you think you know the answer. They're asking the relationship with the labels, with the people. Okay, correct answer is A, no? Let's go next. So, number 13, what is the key benefit of using encryption settings within sensitivity labels? So, what is the benefit of using encryption? So, what's the benefit of encryption? What is the meaning of encryption? Then you'll know the answer. What does encryption assist you with? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Let's type your answer in the chat. Let's okay. Answer. Let me give you a hint. Remember, you want to control the content and who can access the content. So, encryption, it's about this, the control of access, no? And editing rights. Okay, let's go to number 14. What is the key difference between the client side and service side labeling? We did speak about this one. I did show you the difference. Is it A, is it B, or is it C, or is it D? What's the key difference? They are all, they can all do auto labeling, but how do they do? What do you think is the answer on this one? I did show you an example. I used this document where I added sensitive information on this document, and then it automatically assigned label a sensitivity, a sensitive label. So, what do you think is the answer here? Yeah, I can give you a hint. Think about where the content is and who and what is performing the labeling action. Okay, the key difference is this one. B. Client side labeling is done in Office apps, meaning you have to open the file or Outlook for the auto labeling to take place for if you do for this for client side labeling. But this one, server side labeling, you don't even have to open the file or the email. Like it happens, auto labeling will take place even when those files are stored, they're not opened, they're stored in SharePoint, OneDrive. So that's the big difference between the two. Okay, let's go to 15. Before we go to 15, here, let's have a look at the tools that are used to monitor sensitivity label usage. So sometimes you wanna, as an administrator, you want to see which labels are used the most in your environment, right? Is it confidential? Is it public? Is it sensitive? Is it so? Uh, there's different tools that you can use. Okay, first one is this one, Data and Content Explorer. So let's go to Data and Content Explorer, then you'll be able to see a snapshot of the content with the sensitivity labels. Okay, I'm going to open Microsoft Purview. Let's go home. I'm going to click home. Okay, then I'm clicking here on information protection, and then I'll come here, Explorer. Now, Data Explorer, this one will show me the labels that are in this environment and that are being used. Let's give it a moment. You'll see it will show you. Okay, let me scroll down. Then you can see here, sensitivity labels. See a lot of labels that are used that are currently being used are this ones, personal labels and general labels, highly confidential labels. There's 6 of them which are currently being used. I can even click here and I can see which files are using these labels. Right. So I can click on sensitive, click here in OneDrive, it will show me that, oh, there are files in OneDrive which are using sensitive labels. Click on the OneDrive. Okay, give it a moment, and it will show us exactly which files are using the sensitive label. I'll click there. So this is one of the best way to see the sensitive file or the confidential files in a company. Let's say you're working for a company as a data security administrator. You want to see which files are the confidential ones in the company. This is how you do it. You just do exactly what I'm doing. As you can see, these are the files which have this sensitive label assigned. These are the files, right? And then this one, Activity Explorer. This one will show you which labels have been changed or which have been removed. Basically, it shows you how users interact with the labels. So as you can see, let me scroll down, then you can see which labels have been applied to which files, which labels have been changed. You see? So it even makes it easier with these colors so you can identify easier. So right now there's 4 labels which have been applied. There's 1 label which was changed. If I click here, then it shows 1. If someone maybe deletes a label, I'll be able to come here as an administrator and I'll be able to see who deleted the label, when, then I can investigate why. If maybe I made a file, I made it highly confidential, somebody opens that file, changes the label and make it a normal file, a public file, I can come here, then I can check, then I can see who changed the label, why, when. Okay, now let's go back. And then this one, reports dashboard. This is a high level dashboard. Basically, it provides like an overview of the top labels that are used across the organization. Let me go back. Let me show you exactly what they're referring to. So you just come here, click on reports. Then if I scroll down, then you can see on reports, it shows sensitivity label coverage. It shows that most of the labels are here on Exchange, and then a few of them are on OneDrive. If I scroll down, then you can see sensitivity label usage. Then you can see that most used labels are these one, personal labels, and then general, there's 6 of them, highly confidential, 6, sensitive. So basically, this is just a dashboard. It makes it simpler or easier for you to see which labels are being used, where are they being used. If you wanna explore more, then you can click there. Alright, let me go back to the question before I go to a question. Let me come here. Uh, okay. Okay, it's fine. Let's go back to the question. Alright, let's have a look at number 15. What are the key actions that administrators can monitor using Activity Explorer? Remember, Activity Explorer is this one, eh? Uh, it's this one, Activity Explorer. What is it used for? What can I see? That's what they're asking. Let's go back. So, what is it used for? What can I see from it? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Type your answer in the chat if you think you know the answer. Even if you don't know the answer, type it in the chat. Let's see. What is it going to show me? What is the Activity Explorer going to show me? This is something that we just did right now. So you should know the answer. There's even a hint. While you're still thinking about the answer, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, YouTube, so that YouTube can share the video with the people who are interested. So, what do you think will be the answer for this one? What is the Activity Explorer used for? Okay, let's go back. Uh, if you're struggling, we'll go back and you can see. There's your answers. This is what it will show you. This is what it does. Your answers. Then you can see this is what it does. Okay. Okay, Sarah, you're correct, no? Tracking labels that are applied or changed or removed. Or, yes. Okay. Let's have a look at the last question. What is the primary purpose of the information protection reports dashboard in Microsoft Review? So this is the dashboard that I was just showing you. This one. Let me go back here. Then. This reports dashboard. What is the purpose of this? That's what they're asking. What is the purpose of this dashboard here? And you should know the answer for this one. What is the primary purpose of the information protection reports dashboard? Is it A, to automatically apply labels to files? B, to provide centralized high-level view? C, to show a timeline of user actions? Or D, to provide a real-time snapshot of content? So what do you think a dashboard is for? Any dashboard on any application, what are they normally used for? That's what they're asking. Okay, the answer is this one. No? B, yes. Provide a centralized high-level view of how sensitivity labels apply. Yes. Okay. Now that was the lesson for today. Once we are done with this, we're gonna focus on this Microsoft email security, right? So right now we're just doing Microsoft data security, but we're gonna have to move to email security so that you guys can understand how email security works in the background. Then you can learn about phishing and training exercises as well. We use, let me share the screen here. We use platforms like Microsoft Defender. We share screen. Yeah, then we'll come here, email collaboration. We're gonna see how do you protect emails? How do you see a malicious email? How do you detect? How do you investigate? How do you quarantine an email? And then how do you um, save or how do you assess URLs on emails that might be malicious? So we're gonna use all of these, and then you're also gonna learn about phishing attacks, how to send phishing attacks, how to train users. So this is something that we'll touch on or that we'll do once we are done with the Microsoft data security. Are we going to start all using? Are we going to do try hack? Yes, we can do try hack me as well. We can do some try hack me as well. It's no problem. So there are some exercises there that we can work on, which are also related to it. So yeah, I'll have a look at that and see which exercises that we can work on together. So I'll have a look on that one, Sarah. Then I'll come back to you. But for today, that was the lesson for today. I want to thank you for joining. Before you leave, don't forget to like. If you want to subscribe, you can, and share the video. And then we'll meet again Monday after 7 and Wednesday after 7 in the evening. And I'll have a look at Try Hack Me. Then we'll see which exercises we can work on together. And yeah, thank you guys. If any questions, you can contact me on any social media platform: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of those platforms. Then yeah, we'll continue meeting. Thank you and have a good evening.